Are you looking for a great school district, but you want to be in the country? Is Aledo a little too city for you? Well, today I'm going to cover everything you need to know about Brock, Texas and the Brock School District area so you can see if it's a good fit for you. Now, if this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Aledo, Texas, make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell for notifications so you can be kept up to date with everything that's going on in the Aledo area. My name's Jared with Living in Aledo, Texas, and I get calls and texts all the time from people just like yourself who are thinking about moving to the Aledo area, and I love it. So whether you're thinking about moving next week or next year, all my contact information is in the description box below. Reach out however you're most comfortable, and I'm looking forward to helping you make a smooth move to the Aledo area. Okay, well now as I get started, I just want to let you know how this video is going to go. I'm going to pull up the Google map and I'm going to show you where everything is on Google Maps. I'm going to mark some stuff up, I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to zoom out, I'm going to scroll around. So it might get a little hectic, but thanks for checking this out. Now again, this is a little different than our normal videos, but Brock is a great option for you if for some reason Aledo isn't the perfect fit. So stick around. If there's anything that I don't answer or any questions that you think about that are not on the topic today, put them in the comment section below and I'm going to get those answered for you. Let's check it out. Okay, well let's take a look at Brock today. So Brock, you'll notice, I'm going to zoom out, is a good bit west from Fort Worth. So way over here is Brock. You're like, well, how far away is that, Jared? Unfortunately, you're a full 20 minutes from downtown Weatherford. You know, and 18 to 20 minutes from Weatherford, kind of depending on where you're going. And then you've got another 20-ish minutes to downtown Fort Worth because it's like all highway. So you're like 20 minutes to Fort Worth, you're about 40 miles to downtown Fort Worth. So with no traffic, you're looking at about 40 minutes. But if there is any sort of significant traffic, that could be longer. So let's zoom in over here. You've got Brock. You're just a little bit south off the highway. And I'm going to show you some of the major thoroughfares in a minute, but you've got Brock Spur right here. That kind of comes right here. And we're going to go, let's see if we can figure this out. I want to show you a couple of these. I might have to zoom in and out, but you've got Old Dennis coming off over here, very close to kind of that Weatherford right here. So Old Dennis comes this way, and it comes down, 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 and it kind of winds around and drives past Eagles Bluff. Then you've got Dennis Road that's a little further on 20, a little further west. Dennis Road comes down, and so you've got Old Dennis right here. You've got Dennis comes down. It's more of a straight shot. It doesn't wind as much. It meets right here, turns into Dennis, and there's, this is Dennis, the city. And then you have 1189, which is, Brock Spur right here, comes through Brock. 1189 comes and connects with Dennis. Then you've got Grindhouse, I think it's Grindhouse, and you've got Lazy Bend right here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see those. But these are some of the major thoroughfares of the Brock area. So you've got Grindstone, not Grindhouse, sorry, Grindstone, but Lazy Bend, and then Lazy Bend comes around this way and you'll drive past a lot of neighborhoods that we're going to talk about in a minute. So downtown Brock's only like 2 miles off the highway, so really pretty close. And similar to Aledo, there are a number of different cities that fall within the Brock ISD, or the Brock School District attendance zone. So let's take a look at those. So first off, so Millsap's over here, but there is some mailing addresses over here. There's obviously Brock, you've got Dennis, and then you've got some Lipan mailing addresses. So I'm going to show you the Brock attendance zone so you can kind of see. That's a big area that is covered by Brock. So this is the Brazos River. So you go way past, that's Sugartree. We'll talk about that in a second. But you've got a little bit, probably Millsap. Obviously you have like Weatherford over here. And then similar to Aledo again, lots of unincorporated areas. So we're not gonna get into, there's probably won't ever be videos on like Lipan or Dennis. They're just not big enough because people just move there because of the school district Brock, and that's it. And now we wanna make sure that you have an idea of where some of these neighborhoods are. Okay, so first off, I want to start with a neighborhood that I have a client currently buying a home in. And so we are in Canyon Creek right now. So Canyon Creek is right over here. So right here, just east of Canyon West Golf Course. That's a great neighborhood. You're looking at, homes in the 700s plus or minus. You can go up to maybe $1 million. My clients are buying something in the 600s. Then you've got Canyon West, which is a golf course and a neighborhood right here. That's a good one. And then if you go a little further, a smaller neighborhood right here. So it's Kessler Farms. That's a good one as well. That's brand new. They have a lot of homes that back up to this big creek. I have a client who really wanted one of these homes. Unfortunately, they'd already taken an offer from someone else. Now, one thing I'm going to note about Canyon Creek is that Canyon Creek is very similar to Covered Bridge Canyon in Aledo. So it's got some covered, literally some bridges that are covered, which is where Covered Bridges gets its name from. Mature trees, big lots. So that's a great neighborhood, very close to the highway, pretty easy to get to. Okay, and then the other neighborhood in this area is going to be Comanche Crossing. So that's right here. You get here from the access road on Trail Ridge. That's a really nice neighborhood with lots of big lots. I have this map on my other screen pulled up over here because there's just a bunch of these neighborhoods that are actually a little bit hard to find. Let's pull up 500 Hondo. Let's see if that pulls it up. There you go. Here's Santana Ridge. That's a really nice neighborhood. Lots of homes in like the $1 million mark. So I have some aerial shots of that. That's a really beautiful neighborhood. Definitely worth considering if you're looking at that $1 million mark and want to be in the Brock area. And then I'm going to jump down to, there's two neighborhoods I think are really cool and want to point out. So I'm going to scroll out and then back in. We got Sugartree Golf Club. So you've got the reserve at Sugartree or Sugartree on the Brazos. This is a big neighborhood. My last video, I kind of displayed this one a little bit. It's got a golf course, lots of homes, built from the 2000s and later, and it's really pretty cool. And it's right off 1187. Now, you are like almost an hour from Fort Worth here. So if you're gonna be commuting to Fort Worth, probably not the best option. And then let's talk about another $1 million neighborhood. I love $1 million neighborhoods, right? Everyone likes checking these out. But Stevens Bluff, it's like just a couple of streets. There's some homes with beautiful views. You can see they back up and their like backyard is literally on the Brazos River. So these are really neat, a lot of great views. High price point, it is a private neighborhood with a gate. So a little more exclusive, if you will. And now we're gonna look at some of the smaller neighborhoods over here. Okay, and there's two neighborhoods that are side by side. You have Crooked Creek over here off Lazy Creek Crossing, so that's Crooked Creek. And then you've got a brand new one, which you barely can see anything. You have Grace Lane right here. You've got one I haven't done a video on or have no videos of, but you got Hackberry Pointe. And then you're gonna see the rest of these neighborhoods coming up. So you've got Garner Ranch right here. That was in my last video. You can get some really affordable homes here, like right in the 400 range on an acre. And then you've got Heritage Acres right here as well, Buddy Court and Esther Court. So another small neighborhood, but really pretty, lots of homes with pools, and you've got a little bit of space, but you still have neighbors. So it's a great place to be for a lot of people. Now, what I haven't really honed in on yet is really probably one of the best Brock neighborhoods. I mean, size, like layout, look, and that is Eagles Bluff. So it's a gated neighborhood. You've got 3 gates coming off Old Dennis Road, lots of homes. You can get homes with 1 acres, 2 acres, 3 acres. I actually met the owner's father of the Daily Grind. I mentioned that in the last video, which is the coffee shop over near downtown Brock. And one of his daughters bought 3 2-acre lots over here. So they have 6 acres inside Eagles Bluff. And there's just a lot of really pretty homes, lots of mature trees. There's a creek running through here. There's still lots that have water access on the property, you know, whether it's a pond or a creek. So that is a really great option to consider. So that's the neighborhoods. And there's more. I didn't touch on all of them. I know I didn't. But let's do this. I'm going to show you where all the schools are. So we can scroll in, see if we can get all of them in the same screen. So you've got the junior high. You've got the intermediate right here. You've got Brock Elementary, and then you've got Brock High School. So let's do this. I just want to show you how close these are. These are all within like a distance from each other. The farthest is like a mile, but you're like a quarter to a half mile, you know, if you look like from all the downtown area. So super close. All 4 schools are right here. We do have, you know, 1 single childcare place, which is right up here, Brock Country Day. That's a childcare spot. So if you work and you need to drop your kids off somewhere and they're, you know, pre-K, that'd be a spot for you. Thankfully, there's not a ton of development going on, but there is going to be a little bit, some new residential development, very little commercial development. And let's pull up, I'm going to pull up 500 Hondo. So Santana, there is going to be a neighborhood that goes in just south of Santana Ridge. So I think like right over here, that's in the future works. So you've got Eagle View, which will be going in just next to Canyon West. So I think it's probably going in over here in Canyon West. And then you've got one other neighborhood called Santorini that's kind of in the works. Nothing's been done. It'll be like 66 lots. So just want to kind of give you the lay of the land when it comes to the Brock area. And then let's talk about recreation. Unfortunately, there's not as much to do out in Brock just because of the distance, but there are 2 golf courses, which we already showed you. You've got Canyon West off the highway, and if you live further south, you've got Sugartree Golf Club. Way south, like I said, you're like almost an hour from downtown Fort Worth, 50 plus minutes. And then shopping needs. I'll be honest, we'll talk about pros and cons in another video. You don't move to Brock for the conveniences. You move to Brock because you want space and you want quiet and you want rural. So there's not much shopping. If you need any sort of real grocery store, real department store, you're going to Weatherford. Now there are a couple of restaurants, and you know, you've got the Daily Grind, which is a coffee shop that serves food. You have the Hungry Jalapeno, which is a Mexican place, and you've got like a Sonic and a Subway. So locally owned stuff, I always like talking about chains. Who cares? Honestly, they may be locally owned, but it's still a chain, so you're gonna get the same food you get anywhere else. Now, when it comes to activities, again, not a lot. There's going to be hunting and fishing. There may be some activities you can do on the Brazos, but you're going to kind of have to do that on your own. Okay, well again, let's talk about Brock Independent School District. I'm sure I'll cover this in a pro and con video at some point, but I do want you to be aware of like just some of the info around it. There's about 2,100 students total in Brock ISD. Now, Brock is currently a 3A school, but last time that they were assessed, they were only 3A by under 8 students. So they're about to be a 4A and a small 4A school at that. Brock ISD covers about 100 square miles, and it is the #2 best school district in Parker County, following, you guessed it, Aledo ISD. So really it is a good school district. It is in the top 11% of school districts in the state of Texas. Unfortunately, it's like 10.5%, so I cannot say it's in the top 10% right now. All its academics are graded A. All its teachers get an A grade from like Niche and some of the school websites. Now, the student to teacher ratio, which is important to a lot of people, is 15:1. So for little kids, that's not awesome. For high schoolers, that is amazing. I went to a 6A public school in Arlington, Texas, and we would have 35, 40 kids in a class per teacher. So 15:1 is a pretty great ratio. And then some school awards. So while it is small, it is still a highly acclaimed school district. You've got 22 team state championships since 2002. So still highly rated for its sports as well. And again, like I said, it's 3A, about to be 4A, so you're gonna be on the smaller end of that 4A. So there's athletics might get a little tougher, but I do have clients who are really interested in Brock because they want their kids to have fun in sports and be able to participate in high school athletics. And Aledo has gotten to the point where it's so competitive that it may not jive well with some families unless you are really going to get in it, or maybe your kids have played from a young age. Now, you can still play and show up, but if you want to like be a starter, you got to be pretty good in Aledo. So Brock is a good option for kids who want to be able to play with some of the less pressure and just participate in team sports. Okay, now let's talk about home values. So in the last 12 months, there have been homes that have sold between the $350,000, which there's a few close to that range right now, all the way up to $2.2 million. And that $2.2 million was almost a 50-acre ranch. So the average sales price is really right around $600,000, which honestly is pretty close. It's right around where Aledo is as well. Aledo's maybe $650,000, $660,000. But the difference is what you're getting for that average sales price. So almost everything in Brock is going to be on 1+ acres, where that average, $600,000 sales price, that might be Parks of Aledo on like a 1/4 acre. And I've mentioned it in other videos, I'm sure I'll mention it again. A lot of the reason people are moving out to Brock from the Aledo area is because they want, maybe a 3,000 square foot home on an acre or two with a pool. Well, in Aledo, that's easily going to be, $800,000. In Brock, that's closer to $6,000. So that is a primary reason to consider Brock, is because you're wanting more land, more square footage, and like maybe a pool or a shop or something like that. But you're still, again, your price range still needs to be 600 plus or minus, because that's the average. You're just getting more for that average. All right, well that does it for everything that you need to know about Brock and Brock ISD. So if there's anything I didn't touch on or anything I brought up that you have more questions on, put it in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Brock ISD. Is that just a little too far for you, or is that perfect? Because whether you're thinking about moving next week or next year, all my contact information is in the description box below. I look forward to helping you make a smooth move to the Aledo area or Brock.